everyone, and welcome to Shell's Sugar Rush. Welcome back if you've been here before. Today we're going to be making this fantastic Tres Leches Cake, which in Spanish means 3 milks. This cake is a light, fluffy cake that is soaked in 3 different kinds of milk for fabulous moisture, and just a beautiful light cake for any occasion. So let's get started. Okay, so for the layers of our Tres Leches cake, you're going to need 1 cup of all-purpose flour, and I've included in here 1½ teaspoons of baking powder, as well as 1/4 teaspoon of salt. You will need 1 cup of sugar divided into 3/4 of a cup and 1/4 of a cup, okay? You will need 5 whole eggs divided, and I've got, you see here, my 5 egg whites and my 5 egg yolks. And then of course you will need 1 teaspoon of vanilla and 1/3 cup of 2% or whole milk. That's up to you. And your oven needs to be preheated to 350 degrees. I have 2 8-inch round pans ready to go for that. Right? And you're also going to need a mixer. You can use a stand mixer. You can use a whisk. You can use and you can use a hand mixer like I'm doing. Okay. And I've got all my utensils here for it because I'm going to be using these for the mixing of most of the ingredients, and I'll be using my whisk piece for doing my egg whites. Okay, so let's put it all together. So we've already got our dry ingredients combined and whisked together, so we're just going to set that aside for a minute. Okay, we're going to take our bowl with our 5 egg yolks, and into this bowl we're going to combine our sugar, our 3/4 cup of sugar, okay? And we're gonna just mix that until these are nice, pale yellow and creamy. Okay, now there we go. See, that's almost like a pudding mix now, pale yellow and creamy, and we're gonna add to that our 1/3 cup of milk and our vanilla extract, and just mix that up real well. All right, once that's good and incorporated, we are going to add in our flour mixture. Okay, let's just go ahead and we can go ahead and add all of that in. And we're going to mix that on low speed just so we don't have flour flying everywhere. Until it's just combined, okay? Okay. And I'm just gonna run a spatula around here just to make sure we've got all of our dry ingredients incorporated. Okay, that looks good. So we're gonna set that aside and we're gonna work on our egg whites. So with a clean whisk, with a clean whisk, we want to whip our egg whites until they just form some soft peaks, okay? Now that we've got some soft peaks going, we're going to add in our last 1/4 cup of sugar, okay? We're going to add this in slowly while we're beating our egg whites, and then we're going to just continue to beat them till we have some stiff but not dry egg whites. Okay, you can see now we have our stiff peaks. So we are going to take our egg white mixture and we're going to just gently fold it into our cake batter. So go ahead and put it all in there. This gives us a real light, airy cake since we're going to be putting syrup into it. Okay. And just as I said, just gently fold that together just a few times until we've got it all mixed in. And you make sure you go all the way to the bottom so we get what's on the bottom mixed in real well. Okay, I think we've got it there. All right, now we're gonna bring in our pans. And you can weigh these. We want to just evenly distribute them. I'm just going to eyeball that. Okay, what do you think? Think we're pretty even there? Looks like it. So we're just going to just kind of shimmy these around a little bit to level it out. And we're ready to go into our 350-degree oven for about 30 minutes. Okay, our cakes are out of the oven and cooling, so while they're cooling down, we're going to cut up a few strawberries just to place in the center of our cake layers and some for the top as well. So we'll chop these up and then we'll come back and make our syrup for our cakes. Now at this point, I'm just going to pick out some pretty slices for the top of the cake. Then I'm going to take the rest and just kind of chop them up to do put in the middle inside the layers. Okay, so for our syrup for our cake layers, you're going to need 6 ounces of evaporated milk, 6 ounces of sweetened condensed milk, and a 1/4 cup of heavy cream. Okay. And we're going to mix that all together and pour it over our cake layers. So we're going to take each of these and I'm just going to pour it into a measuring cup. Okay, and I'm just going to mix that up real good. Okay, that's mixed up real good. And for this part, I like to use a skewer. You can use a fork. That works just fine as well. And I'm just going to go around and make sure that we have a decent amount of holes in here to soak up all of our syrup. And you see I've got them on the cooling rack and I've just placed them on top of a plate just to catch any syrup that might go over the sides or you know, soak through the cake. Okay, and we're just going to slowly start to pour this over our cake layers and kind of let it soak in. And we'll go back and forth between the two just to make sure we get a good amount on both. You want to make sure you get it all the way to the edges so our edges won't be dry. Okay, we're going to give those about 15 or 20 minutes to let that syrup soak in real good. Okay, so while we're letting our cake layers soak up that good juicy syrup, we are going to make some whipped cream icing for our cake. And for this, you will need a bowl. I like to use the stainless steel bowl for this, and of course the whisk attachment on your mixer. And I like to put my bowl and my utensil in the freezer for about 15 minutes just so it's nice and cold. This will help our cream whip up good and fast, okay? Now for this I'm going to use 3 cups of heavy cream and 3 tablespoons of powdered sugar. So all we need to do, and I'm using of course my hand mixer for this, so all we need to do is put that heavy cream in our cold bowl. And I'm going to go ahead and start whipping that up, and as I whip it up I'll slowly add the powdered sugar to it, okay? Okay, let's see how that looks. That's looking pretty good, and that's what we're looking for, and that was about 3 minutes of mixing. I'm just going to give it another 10 seconds or so, and then we'll be ready to put our cake together. Okay, and I'm going to use a 10-inch cake board for this, so I've got my utensils and everything I need to get ready for decorating. So, just going to spread a little bit of that on the cake board. we go. And we'll bring in our first layer. Okay, okay. And we're just going to put a generous amount on here so we can have a nice thick layer in between our cake layers. Okay, and then we're going to bring in our strawberries. Okay, that looks good. Now we're going to bring in our other layer, and we're going to put this one with the bottom up. Okay, and you can see that's, ooh, our syrup is in there, and that looks good and juicy. Okay, and we'll get another generous amount of our whipped icing. And I'm going to just kind of go around my cake board and clean it up a little bit before I put my strawberries on top. Alright, there we go. Okay, so there's our cake covered with our whipped cream topping. And now we're going to bring in our little strawberries that we sliced earlier for some decor. And I'm just going to spread these around in the center. I'm going to start in the center and fan out. And you can do any design with this. You can, you know, just figure out what works for you. Nice, simple, pretty design. Okay, so there is our Tres Leches cake. This is a very nice, light but moist cake. Not too sweet like your average buttercream cake. And I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you try this in the future. Please like and subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you in the future for more videos like this. Thank you.